Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was present. Was he not present? Now let me explain to you what it means. Would you come here, please? Right? Come. Yes. Right. Face me. Face me. When anyone greeted Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, right? Just shake my hand. Shake my hand. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam stood directly in front. And when he spoke to you, he didn't look at anyone else but you. He never interrupted you whilst you spoke. He was the last one to remove his hands. What is he telling him? You are important. I care for you. No one else is part of the conversation. Share what you have. Right? You see that? Now, what do I mean by being present? Remember our minds. You may sit now. I'll take your autograph later. You can sit.
Thank you.
I like it. Right? Now, what do I mean by being present? Listen very carefully. When you are present, especially at home, you're telling your wife, I love you, I care for you. What is it that you want you to share? You don't say, speak, I'm listening. You don't have a newspaper in front of you, right? You're not looking at television, not newspaper. You stop everything. Do that for your children. You are present. You are there. Now let me tell you, what does the other person feel? It enhances the self-esteem. They feel good. They feel affirmed. They feel appreciated. Now I'll give you an example. If you can do this, when you are eating, enjoy the food, masticate it, thank Allah. Each time you take a morsel, thank Allah, Jazakumullah. Think of those who got no food. Focus on the food. Focus. When you meet someone, even for 2 minutes, no matter if, like for example, how often you are rushing, you're going fast. You meet someone, right? Come again, brother, right? Your name again? I meet Muhammad Ashad. I say, Muhammad Ashad, Assalamu alaikum, hi, how are you, man? Sorry, I can't talk too much for you. I'll go right, I'm rushing. Oh, I could do this. Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad Ashad. How are you, Muhammad?
Fine.
Your family?
Alhamdulillah, they all are fine.
It's always a joy to see you, Muhammad.
Same here.
How I wish I could spend more time. I got an urgent appointment.
Inshallah, we'll meet sometime else.
Alhamdulillah.
Inshallah.
You see that? Right? Now you may sit now. Autograph later.
Thank you.
Right. Now, I give you an example. Right. I'm so happy to see you. I only make one request. Really. This is Allah's mercy. There is no coincidence in Islam. Remember that. I'm supposed to speak. You're supposed to be here. It's only from Allah. You my sisters and you my brothers. I make a dua. I say, Ya Allah, whenever I lift up my hands, it's also for my new brothers and sisters in Ahmedabad. Make dua for my father. His name was Hasim. My mother, Rabia. And my wife's father, Abdul Ghaffar. Right? Make dua for the ummah. And I make a every time, Ya Allah, I lift up my hands. It's for all of you, whoever is going through pain, difficulty, inshallah. I'll give you an example. So, when you're reading your salah, think of nothing but your salah. Nothing. When you're making your wuzu, think about it. The dua you make. Right? Think. Now, I'll give you an example. I'm the eldest. My other brothers are also handsome like me, in case you're thinking. Right? So, and my younger brother is a Maulana, and he's an imam of the mosque, and he's a headmaster of a school also. Right? And I went to see him in Port Shepson, my hometown. I said, Ya Allah, today, when I speak to my brother today, I want to connect with his heart. That's what I said. I made a dua. I asked God, I said, I want to connect with his heart. I went there. I hugged him. I sat opposite him. And I asked him. So I spoke. These are the words I remember I said in 2 minutes. I said, Assalamu alaikum, Imran, my brother. How are you? This time when I asked him, how are you? I really wanted to know how he was. If he was in pain, he must tell me. How's the family? I want to know. How's the family, Imran? I really wanted to know. After 2 minutes, he started crying. He started crying. He came out from there. He gave me a hug. He said to me, Idris, Of all these years you and I spoke, nothing touched my heart more than what touched me now. Nothing touched my heart more, because we have a tendency, we are good talkers but poor listeners. When someone speaks to you, you're thinking of an answer, but you're not listening to the words. Listen with empathy. So another tip is be present. Be present with your family. Be present. If we can do that, you are telling your wife, your husband, you are important. I care for you. The nikah brought us together. I care for you. Nothing else is important. Nothing else is important. You understand that? Be present. Because no matter what you're thinking, it will not help. I'll give you another example. I had, at that time, it was we just moved to our apartment in Durban. I just come back from a program I did in Qatar, Doha. I came there, and one of my friends phoned me up, and he was telling me about his problem with his son-in-law, So, on the cell phone. And just then, our home phone rang. And no one knew the number except few people. My mother, she knew the number. So she picked up the phone. I said to her, Mummy, I'm busy on the phone. I'll phone you later. I just came in now. Then about 3 times that day, I remembered my mummy's call from Port Shepson. I didn't phone back. I got busy. Then about 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock, Ruxan, 1 o'clock in the morning, I get a call from my father to tell me my mother had a heart attack. So I said, I'm coming home, Daddy. He said, no, son, she's stable. You come in the morning. I don't want you to come now. The lesson I learned on that day, when your mom or dad calls you, everyone else is unimportant. They are unimportant people. Lesson I learned. Very important. I don't want any one of you. Studies have shown the regrets of the aged people. They were asked, people are dying, invalids, in hospital, old age homes. What are their regrets? You know what they say? Hey, how I wish I told my wife I love and appreciate her. How I wish I did not get consumed by my work. How I wish I followed my dreams. How I wish I did not become a victim. Like when I ask people questions, especially the brothers or the sisters, when you ask someone, who are you? Who are you? People give me the name. I say, I didn't ask you your name. Who are you? I'm a doctor. I never asked you what's your profession. Who are you? I am Mrs. So-and-so. I didn't ask if you're married. The best answer I got, I'm nothing but a humble servant of Allah. And you too, my sisters, you are not defined by your marriage. You're not defined by your gender. You're not defined by your profession. You are part of the ummati of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You are part of humanity. Remember that. Remember that. It's very, very important you understand that. And every day you need to do that. What are other tips in a happy home? There are 3 fundamental things. Number 1, the one tip that they have, one thing they have what you call a family routine. Something they discuss, a routine. Very important, right? And they stick to it as best as possible. Husband and wife participate in the routine. Eating, prayer time, reading books together. You know what I'm saying to you? Routine. Helping with household chores, visiting the sick, That you can, it's a long talk, but you routine. The next thing, every family has some values. Like what values? For example, one value is when one is upset, the other person is quiet. The other value is we leave our work behind us. Something we discuss. Value is when we get visitors, we are kind to each other. Right? You are kind to each other. Right? Okay. Value is also in public we praise each other. At home we can discuss issues. I tell my wife all the time, in public you must praise me. I say, what a man. Right? And at home, you can chastise me quite. You won't tell everyone. Don't do that. You understand what I'm saying to you? So these are important things. The other thing that third thing there in that group, right? Your goals as a family. Where are you and I going in the next 5 years or 10 years? Then you have personal goals, spiritual goals, health goals, eating the right food. Our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not only speak about halal, he also spoke about tayyib, organic food. Eat the right food. Many of the diseases are because we're eating too much of processed food, microwaves and whatnot. You understand what I'm saying to you? The real organic foods, you must inshallah discuss that, right? Okay, so there are many, many tips for a happy marriage, inshallah, right? And remember this, remember this, remember this. A critical thing is this, that your wife must be aware and vice versa that you are praying for each other. Acknowledge your wife. Affirm her. Thank her for the food she did. Right? Like there was one person, he never, ever, ever, ever thanked his wife and praised the cooking. So I think he went for a talk and the Maulana inspired him, to start. He said, today definitely I'm going to thank my wife today. Thank my wife. So he went there to her and he using the word darling also. He said, darling, what a wonderful lunch. Oh, she said to him, because our neighbor Fatima sent the lunch is very good today. Right? So you must thank her, And you know what, my brothers, you must become sisters, self-aware. Look at yourself. You'll be surprised how your mood can affect the ethos, the culture of a home. Inshallah. So there are many tips for a happy marriage. Many, many tips, but we'll stop there, right? Okay. Now, conflict management. Conflict management. It's a very important thing, right? I say that you and your wife would disagree. It does not mean that disagreement must lead to a conflict. That's different altogether. Disagree. Right? Right? There's nothing wrong in disagreeing. It's finished. Now, when you ignore it all the time, then you can build up resentment. Right? Now, so when you got a situation, then you and your wife decide. In fact, therefore, I promote that in the book. You got to make a decision when there is a conflict or disagreement, how you want to deal with it. Right? Women like to deal with it now. Men, some other time or not at all. Right? So you need to discuss it. But both of you, they say a problem well defined is a problem half solved. Right? So define what is the issue. Then ask, what would you like to see as the outcome of the discussion? What the outcome of the discussion? All right. So and then you discuss it and what not. Right. Sometimes maybe you feel that both of you get a bit emotional. You want someone else to support you all and help you all. Someone that you could confide in. Right? And remember, when you're going through an issue, you don't come there with a public announcement standing on the roof. Brothers and sisters, is to inform you that I, Idris Khamissa, the beloved, darling husband of Ruxana, and I are having a problems at home. You may come and visit anytime. No. We talk too much in public. And people like to gossip. They like it. Whispering. No. You deal with it, right? Inshallah. Okay. Now, so the whole idea about, conflict is isolating the issue, discussing it, looking at what you like to see as a solution. You understand? Sometimes, and I'll tell you this is a beautiful part. I've been counseling for many years. And I remember in my initial counseling, when I was in one city, I won't mention which city, or our minds just work, right? I would say it's in Southern Hemisphere or Northern Hemisphere. So I was there in this situation, and the lady, the wife, she came home. When she spoke to me about her problem, you know what I said? Her husband is the most diabolical person in the whole world. She's being honest, but she's giving me her interpretation. Even a photograph is an interpretation, you know that? Right? So anyway, so I listened to her. After a few weeks, her husband decided to come and see me. He said, I know my wife has presented a picture about me. Let me share with you my picture about my wife. When he shared his picture about his wife, I said his wife is 10 times worse than him. You know why I'm saying that? Why I'm saying that even when your children or someone complains about their spouses, make sure that you listen to both sides. Inshallah, right? So what I'm saying to you, very, very important is this, that when you're dealing with situations of conflict, get the story and have the discussion and both people are calm. And couples must not separate when they're angry, they must separate when they are calm. Now earlier on I said to you that you must express your emotions, right? There was one incident which I share wherever I go. And I want to share that incident. About 15 years ago, someone phoned me. They said, Brother Idris, I got your number from so-and-so person. My wife and I have an issue. I asked him, what is the issue? He said, look, listen to his words. My wife has never expressed her love for me in 12 years of marriage. Never once. He said, I can deal with that. But I'm concerned about the son that we have. He's not experiencing the mother's love. I asked him, do you want to stay in the marriage? He says, yes, I want to stay in the marriage. I asked him, what about your wife? He said, I must speak to her. So I spoke to her. And I asked her, do you want to stay in this marriage? She says, yes. Except my father told me, if I don't come back home today, I must never come back. So it's quite clear this was like a recurring problem, right? So I said to him, don't go back to your father. I'll be there, the love doctor, soon. I went to the home. I went to that city. The husband fetched me. So I said to him, give me a brief background about your wife. And with God's blessing, Allah's blessing, he mentioned something. He said to me, when my wife was 1.5 years old or 1 year old, her mother left them. So she was abandoned. I said, okay. So I met the wife and the husband. After I met with them, I told the wife to face her husband with the knees touching each other, their hands clasped like this. I said to her, I want you to talk to your husband and imagine he's your mother. what you like to tell her, but what you'll never tell her. But imagine he's your mother. Alhamdulillah, this happened. She said to him, Ma, why did you leave me as a child? Allah gave me such a beautiful child, Ma. A loving child. I do not know how to show him love, Ma. I never saw you and Daddy showing me love, Ma. Why, Ma? Why, Ma? And she's crying. And the husband now began to understand. He's tearing. And I was also crying. Right? Then she said, Ma, Allah gave me such a wonderful husband. He's so caring, but I do not know how to show that love. Because I never saw you and Daddy loving each other, expressing that love for each other. Ma, why, Ma? And she was crying. And then suddenly both of them got up. And they hugged each other. I'm just shortening it. Hugged each other. I asked her, how do you feel? He said, I feel much better. I feel closure. I asked him, how do you feel? He said, now I understand my wife. That was a turning point. Expression of that love. You understand that? Right. Now what I want to do essentially is, my favorite topic, dealing with the in-laws. Dealing with the in-laws. Hee-haw, 1, 2, 3, 4, in-laws. Right. Dealing with the in-laws. Now let me explain this to you, right? Okay. Now, the 4 main reasons for problems in marriage. There are 4 main. There are other reasons also. 4 main reasons. One is, not one in an order, money. Money. The second is mothers-in-law, sisters-in-law. They're outlaws. Right. The third reason is, right, infidelity. And the fourth reason that might surprise you is when the wife and the husband have a different philosophy how to bring up the child. Very big issue. These are 4 main reasons. Right? Now, remember this. How should you deal with your in-laws? I'm giving you all, I want you to talk about it with your immediate neighbor. Person next to you. Right? I'm giving you 5 minutes, then we'll ask you questions, I'll tell you how. Okay? Dealing with the in-laws. How many of you have a good relationship with your mother-in-law? Put your hands up. Right. Now the wives are looking on this side. Please put your hands up, otherwise in big trouble. Yeah. Right. I think some of you had 2 hands up. I'm not too sure what it means, but anyway. Right. Alhamdulillah, my mother-in-law, she's turning 92. She stays with us. And in my 35 years of marriage, I never had one argument with her. Not one. 35 years of marriage. May she live forever. I told my wife, long as she's around, I'll never starve. When I phone from overseas, I speak to my mother-in-law. The first question she asked me, Dikra, have you eaten? And this is a difference between mothers and wives. When the mother asks you, have you eaten? She hopes you have not eaten because she wants to feed you. But when the wife asks you, have you eaten? She hopes you have eaten. Right? So I'm giving you 5 minutes. Just talk, right? Just talk, right? And about this whole issue and how should we deal with it, all right? Right, please talk to By. Introduce yourself. Oh, Sloan. Oh, yeah. So nice to see you. I saw you earlier.
Yeah, you have to go with him afterwards. And one more thing, we have given 8 o'clock time. But that is because some people want to go for a marriage. But if somebody wants to continue, we can continue.
Okay, because I've heard that there is some wedding or something, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'll try to finish this here by 8 o'clock, and those who ask me questions, I'll remain here, whatever questions. And if you're feeling shy, if you're talking about your husband, don't say my husband, say I know of someone whose husband, See that way, no problem, right? No? Okay, right, okay. Now, you know what? I say the best way of dealing with your in-laws is to make sure that you and your husband or you and your wife are happy. If you are happy, that's it. Be happy. Do not allow that external thing to interfere with the marriage. And you got to also understand there are different kinds of people, don't get me wrong. Sometimes there are real issues. Sometimes how some mothers behave in your presence and your absence are too different. That's true also, right? Now what you got to bear in mind is the following, very importantly. That's why I recommend this in my book, Premarital Conversation, is where you meet your prospective mother-in-law and you need to discuss what is our relationship. You understand? Are we sharing the same kitchen? How would you like to do it? How would you like me to address you? If I have an issue with you, who should I speak to? You know what I mean? Clear all these things today, especially. Please believe me. Please believe me. You understand? And remember this, very, very importantly, do not force your husband to take sides. That's his mother. But I'm not saying he mustn't deal with it. He must use wisdom and deal with it. And I'll mention this. I'll speak about it here. I'm the eldest. My beloved mother, she loved me. I was, I think, a favorite son. All my brothers will say the same thing. Inshallah, may all of us be a favorite son. And she used to phone me regularly. Phone me. When I'm telling her I'm on my way to see her, she'll phone me a few times. Where are you? Where are you? You know, that kind of thing, right? Allah bless her. But I realize that she was not, my mother is not malicious. My wife will tell you that she was not talking enough to my wife. And she used to phone when I'm at home, not when I'm not at home. Right? But I knew that this was, something that my mother should not do, My wife spoke, we spoke about it. I went to see her. I never told her that my wife is complaining about you. An idiot will do that. I said, no, Mommy, I observed something, Ma. And my mother rectified it. You know what I'm saying to you? It's a small issue, but when people are sensitive, if your wife is sensitive about something, deal with it. Deal with it. Now, sometimes your sensitivity about a situation may be based on your own insecurity. It may be based because you got low self-esteem. It may be based because you feel you're competing with the mother. The love a mother has for a son is different from the love you have. She cannot replace you and you cannot replace her. Right or wrong? 1,000 women cannot replace one mother. She's more powerful than that. Right? So you need to deal with it at the very, very beginning. And then if the situation is untenable, when you know that your mother is, that's her nature, she's really impacting on my wife, she's devastating her, and my mother is unfair, and if you can afford it, then separate. Right? Separate. But maintain the physical and emotional connection. You understand? Today it is so sad. It is so sad today. I mean this. It is so sad today, for example, where sometimes some wives get very, very upset when the husbands don't see their family. If you want your husband to attain Jannah, a loving wife is one that tells him, you better go and say hello to your mother. Did you phone her today? No matter what your personal feelings are. And today, there is an inversion, a change. In fact, if you go for Umrah today, if you see an elderly couple and a young couple, in 70% of the cases, I don't know about India, these are the parents of the girl, not the boy. 70% of the cases. I know this is happening. Why? Because men have become emasculated. They become like not, real men. So what I'm saying is this. If there is an issue, with love and affection, discuss it with your mother. Tell mommy, you know what, today you said something, it wasn't right, ma. With love. But you need to communicate that with her. At least the wife knows that you are doing something. You understand? And the whole issue is, in the end, ask yourself, at the end of it all, when you are dying, how important was it to insist that your husband speak on your behalf? How important is this? And today, really, one of the biggest gifts you can give your children is teaching them how they can deal with different personalities. How you deal with people. And you know what? The first 3 years of marriage are very critical 3 years. So the mother-in-law should allow the son and the daughter-in-law consolidate the marriage. They'll make mistakes. At least they must know that you are supportive of them. You're supportive of them. That you care for them. Let them learn. There is a big difference between support and interference. For example, when it is your daughter-in-law's turn to cook or she's cooking, you don't come there like 007, spy. And you walk away. I'm exaggerating it, but it happens. You understand? If you want your son to be happy, then be happy with his choice of wife. Be happy. Right? Get to know her. Some people treat their daughter-in-law like their own daughter. Some daughter-in-laws are so finicky and fastidious, and they say, when the mother-in-law says, I'm like your mother, you can call me ma. You say, you're not like my mother, you're not my mother, I'll not call you ma. At the beginning, why the agitation? Why the agitation? So, we tend to also overreact. Overreact. Don't get me wrong. There are some very, very bad scenarios. Don't get me wrong. Hey, don't get me wrong. Hey, then you have sisters-in-law also playing the part. They treat their daughter-in-law like a slave. They come like queens. Pedicure, manicure. And when you are going in the kitchen, they look at her. Please, Allah is a witness to all of this. You know what? Never go to bed. You know the story of this one Sahaba, when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that, he's got glad tidings. So one of them wanted to know what was he doing that was so special. He made an excuse and he stayed with him. He could not make out anything special, and one day he asked him, he said, I got one habit that before I go to bed every night, I say, Ya Allah, whatever rancor or hatred I have for anyone, remove it before I go to bed. You've got to show emotional maturity. So what I'm saying, when it comes to the in-laws, that's your husband's mother. right? Wife's mother. Deal with it. If you find that she too is basically, that's her nature. She's not malicious. She's not evil. That's her nature. So deal with it. Deal with it. You understand? You got to deal with different people. 5 people, different. How you deal with them. You know how I deal with people? Let me tell you. I deal with them in one of 3 ways. If someone comes to me and shares an observation about me, it is something I did not know, I'm learning from. I said, you know, my brother, Allah bless you, protect you. Thank you so much, really, for sharing that. If someone else comes to me, he's petty, fault finder. I said, thank you for sharing your observation. Then someone else who comes to me, I don't even allow him to go into my brain. He's out of my mind. You understand? Eh? The Ummah needs you. The Ummah needs you. This Ummah needs you. Eh? There is no place for pettiness. Now you know why Allah did not make us Sahaba and all that. Sahaba. Hey? Hey? Look at how special they were. You understand that? So what I'm saying to you, this alone takes a few hours. The long and short of it all, there are 5 basic tips regarding the in-laws. Number 1, try to deal with it on your own. You know, on your own. What do I mean? Try to become hardened to it. Do not overreact to it. Secondly, do not allow that relationship to impact on your relationship with your husband. Your husband is completely innocent. Don't let it get so consumed. The moment he comes home, you start giving him a category of complaints about his mother. It's not fair. Right. Thirdly, very importantly, right? Sit down with your husband at a time that is convenient and look at an appropriate strategy to deal with it. Right? Fourthly, if it is out of control, then as a collective, you get a third person coming there in the home, coming there and dealing with it. Last but not least, Allah forbid that you feel the only way out is for you all to separate. But it must not impact on the husband's relationship with his mother or with mother's relationship, very importantly. Because sometimes in some marriages, when the wife is unhappy with her own husband, she participates, the word is used, vicariously to the life of a son. When the son goes for a drive, she wants to be taken for a drive also. You understand? So what I'm saying to you, it's very, very important, is to deal with it in a mature way, inshallah. Okay. Wait for the azan to finish. I'll end it off with making your home a sanctuary. Right? How many of you, when you go back, inshallah, you're going to do some things differently, inshallah? Inshallah. First thing, go home, right? Make that as a start, like. You tell everyone, what a surprise my husband gave me. What? He came home.
कि जो टिप्स मिली है, जो चीज़ें काम की हमारे सामने आई हैं, हम इसको शेयर भी करें, इसलिए कि हमारा मिशन ये है कि उम्मत में ये बात चले और जो ये मैरिज इंस्टीट्यूशन है, जो हमें जिसकी तालीम दी गई है और जो हम चाहते हैं कि घरों में खुशहालियाँ आएँ, तो वो इसी तरह आएगी इंशाअल्लाह, तो उसको स्प्रेड भी करें. यू कंक्लूड एंड देन वी कैन डिस्पर्स फॉर नमाज.
Okay. The last topic there is tips for making your home a sanctuary. To make your home a sanctuary, You must give your husband or wife dignity. You got to pray for each other. Make your home your priority. Make marriage your priority. Is an important institution of marriage. Making your home a sanctuary is also learning from your mistakes. Have a family routine. Have family goals. Very, very important. Right? The last two things, there are many tips, I'm just sharing very quickly. Making your home a sanctuary. You got to make sure that you live consciously and with intentionality. Watch what you say and how you say it. Create laughter in your homes. You understand? Create laughter in your homes. You understand? Last but not least, very important, open your hearts to each other. Inshallah, that will suffice. Okay, so we'll break off when you come back. How many of you like to come back? You don't have to come back. You know, ask me some questions. You can come back. Put your hands up. A few of you all. All right. So after Salah, I'll wait here for you. All right. Okay. Jazakumullah. I want to thank, alhamdulillah, the organizers for inviting me here. I really enjoyed presenting. Inshallah, I hope that you have benefited. And I want to say this here not because I want to do a hard sell. I put all my CDs on display and the book. I really believe, please believe me, I have no doubt that you would benefit from each of those CDs, whether it is on parenting, marriage, personal empowerment, public speaking. The book is, all three books are very popular. The last book of mine, Premarital and Conversation, is something you should give as a gift to members of your own family. Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
ये सारा अरेंजमेंट और ये सारी मेहनत अब्दुल कहार और दानियाल और उनके साथ हमारी फैज़ुम्मत के भी नौजवान और भी नौजवान थे। इंशाअल्लाह उनके लिए हम एक शुक्रगुजारी का अलग प्रोग्राम भी करेंगे, लेकिन ख़ास मैं आप लोगों को बताना चाहता हूं कि भाई हम इनका बहुत ज़्यादा शुक्र अदा करते हैं कि ये इनकी मेहनतों का नतीजा है। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
That's a question. Did he lie to her? Right, number one. Now, if he lied to her, maybe he lied to her because he felt insecure. If I tell her about my past, then she may not accept me today. Number one. Now, secondly, is this. I don't believe she must react the way she has reacted. We all make mistakes, right? We all make mistakes and we are human. The fact that he's not doing it in his marital life, that's a beautiful thing. When you turn to Allah, Allah forgives. Now, why is she in depression? She could be in depression for a number of reasons. Maybe she got low self-esteem. She is insecure. You understand? Now, she needs help. And maybe she's been consumed by it. If she's consumed by it, then it's going to affect a day-to-day relationship with her husband. So I think basically she needs to get professional help, and help can be given to her. Right? And she mustn't keep on telling the husband. Now what you got to understand, the husband did wrong in his past. She's depressed now. If she keeps on raising the issue with the husband all the time, then she becomes a perpetrator and he becomes a victim. He said, I turned to Allah. I made a mistake in my past. Why are you know what I'm saying to you? Right? There's no need. You know what? I'm not saying she mustn't get depressed. That's out of my control. Nothing happens except the will of Allah. And depression is a situation you can come out of it without notice. So she needs professional help. All right? Okay. Right. If husband is cooperative but in-laws are not manageable, the husband cannot afford to be separate neither from wife nor from parent. What to do? What to do? Right? Right? Hey. I believe that she must not force her husband to make a decision. What she must do, she must strengthen her relationship with the husband. At the same token, she and her husband must see what the mother-in-law can do differently perhaps, and just discuss that matter. You understand? With hikmah, with wisdom. He mustn't say to her, "Mummy, my wife is upset with you, and I too made with you." Doesn't help. Use wisdom. All right, that's what I can say. Right? Don't worry. If the philosophy between husband and wife does not match what to do as a wife, then they need to sit down. You got to understand, remember this, when you are marrying, it's always good to marry people from the same social background, understanding of life, the same values. And when you do not marry from people of same values, then it can become an issue. Unless your husband or wife is prepared to learn, that you must grow together. Hey? Very, very important, right? And inshallah, you'll come on the same page, right? I'm just trying to cut it short, you don't mind? If a daughter-in-law is trying her best to deal with in-laws positively, but the other side no call, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know what my philosophy in life is? I'll greet you every day, you're my neighbor. If you don't greet me, I still greet you every day. Why should I change? If you don't greet me, why should you? You know what I'm saying? And my beloved wife knows that I'm like that. Hey, I won't hide in the corner. I'll greet you. Assalamu alaikum. You don't greet me, Zara. I won't get affected. Now see you again tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum. Am I right? Do I do that? Sir. I'm like that. I don't worry about it. You know, I don't let it get me down. So you keep on doing the right thing. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, how did he react? How did he react? He was negative. He was always positive. So many examples. The lady throwing dirt on him. He was concerned about, you know, he went to he became Muslim. Look at his sensitivity. One person came there, once gave him a bunch of grapes. You know the story? Look, he gave him a bunch of grapes. His habit was to share with the Sahaba. He took a bite. He ate the grape. He didn't give it. He ate another one. We finished it. That man went away. The man was so happy. And they were surprised. He said, "No, I feared if I gave you the grape, you would have shown your displeasure." His sensitivity to people. Hazrat Ali was walking, right? He came late for Salah. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked him, "What happened, O Ali, today?" He said, look at his sensitivity. He says, "I was going for Salah. There was an old man in front of me. I feared if I walked past him very fast, it would have made him feel inadequate." Look at that sensitivity, being self-aware. One of my friends, Sheikh Babakar from overseas, London, I gave him a chocolate in the street of London. I said, "There's a chocolate for you." He said, "No, you eat your chocolate." I said, "You fasting?" Sheikh, he said, "I'm not fasting." I said, "Why are you not eating?" He said, "I'll tell you now." He says, "I did not want to eat the chocolate. There are thousands of people walking up and down. Allah forbid a hungry child sees me eating it, it will pain his stomach." This is how they were. You know what I'm saying? Right? All right, next one. Okay, I did that, I think. Okay, fine. All of you, you're happy with my program today? You want my autograph, you know? Right. If each and every step husband behave negative, what is the role of the wife? Example, taste of cooking, negative. Any person like in a bank, service of bank towards children, relative. Oh, I see, okay, right. Every time his behavior, I'm always right. Now, you got to understand that he's a product of his home environment. There is a reason like that. Why is he like that? I'm always right. Now, people who say I'm always right are people who got low self-esteem. You must understand that. People with high self-esteem are humble people. They got strengths and areas of concern. If you know your husband is like that, so don't get into an argument. Why get into an argument? You're right. Yes, you're right, darling. Finish. That's his nature. Deal with it. Manage it. Don't allow it to get underneath your skin. The big mistake is we allow people to crawl underneath our skin. Don't do that. My wife will tell you, my Shusha Bablina, may Allah bless you. She's my biggest supporter. May Allah protect you. Remember this. The same Allah is looking after you when I'm alive, will look after you when I'm dead. Put your faith in Him. Okay, my baby? I was talking to my wife there. All right? Understand, my baby? Remember in your du'as. Very, very important, very, very critical is that you must always do what is right. We suffer for other people's inadequacies. We are awake, but they are sleeping. They are snoring, they're gone to bed. You know what I mean? Okay. How do I control my impulsiveness during a conversation? Keep my mouth shut. How do I control my impulsiveness? Right? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You got to ask yourself, you know, it's about your EQ, how you manage your emotions. If you know that if you are going to start a discussion, it will lead to an argument, don't get involved in it. Don't come near it. If you know this is going to happen, you're silly to get involved in it, right? And also, if you are impulsive, your husband should know. He said, darling, please remember, I'm impulsive. I sometimes say things and I don't mean it. Please, I don't mean it. Please understand that. He also needs to understand that part of you. It mustn't be that you're walking on eggshells all the time. You know, please, you know, that you must understand the psychology of the other person. So you must say to, you know, when you're meditating, darling, you know, I get impulsive sometimes. I say things and I regret it. If I tell you something, don't take me seriously. But if I tell you I love you, I mean it, eh? Eh? But don't, if I say something negative, don't take me seriously, yes. Oh? No, the point is, the point is there's two things. He'll see over a period of time that you are serious about it. And secondly, when you're trying to get help for your situation, tell him, where can I get help for this? You understand that? Over a period of time, you know, people's true feelings are, sadly, they say love knows is not its own depth except the hour of parting. People really, you know, when they truly see you accurately in the true perspective. Okay. And therefore, you know, it's about you and your spouse growing together. The most important thing is this. You got to get to know your partner, your husband. He has got to know you. And accordingly, he would know how to deal with you. You understand? He should know what makes you happy, what is unique about you, what is your mood, what makes you laugh, what makes you cry. All right? If mother-in-law is dominating, husband doesn't speak anything, she doesn't like the couple loving and cheering together, what to do and how to live, right? Now, the whole thing is this, that, you know what, then be loving privately. You know what I mean? And have your own codes, you know, your own code. Our Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Bibi Aisha had a code. What was the code? The knot. Eh? Wasn't it the knot? He used to ask each other about the knot. Eh? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he just says what it was when we first, you know what I mean? So you need to have your own code, right? Because of culture sometimes, you cannot be as loving to your spouse in front of your parents, out of respect also, right? But make sure that when you're together alone, that you are loving, you are laughing, you know what I mean? You are doing things, inshallah, all right? Now, the whole thing is this, the critical thing is this, in life you cannot change anyone except yourself. Remember that. You can only change yourself. You know, there was one person went to a marriage counselor. I'll try an American accent here. So marriage counselor said, hey Bob, I'm so surprised to see you. He said, man, I have a lot of issues about my wife. He said, man, I'm so disappointed in you. I thought you had issues about yourself. He said, then the penny dropped. I began to look at myself through eyeballs of my wife. I realized I had 3 or 4 negative qualities. When I sorted those qualities, I was in a happy marriage. You see, we've got filters, right? So we taint things, right? Okay. Okay. Okay, right. Anything else? Okay. Okay. Did you come across any case which you were unable to solve as a counselor? What were the reasons? Please share. Now, I always, inshallah, I want to come back to Ahmedabad and I want to teach people how to counsel. Go through the whole program. Right, whole program. I want to do that, inshallah, make dua. Because I also help a group of ladies in South Africa, right? Now, when I'm dealing with someone, when I see there's something I cannot register, then I realize maybe it's a psychiatric issue. It's not a psychological issue. Then I would recommend they see a Muslim psychiatrist. Because if I cannot deal with something, then, I say, you know what, I point you there. And often the person picks up that the person may have got a chemical imbalance or whatever. Now, the other times, for example, I would never ask a couple to separate. Never. Except, for example, I would say the following. If a wife is living in fear, with the husband threatened to kill and whatnot, then I say to the man, you need to get rehabilitated. You need to understand. You must be suffering from post-traumatic stress. All this pent up. You sort yourself out. If they give you a clean bill of health, they can go back. But I'll tell the wife that, you know what, I tell him you cannot stay in the same place. Then, you know what I mean? When there's danger. Okay. The other thing is this, that if I feel I've done everything possible, right? Now, and I still feel this couple are not good for each other. I never tell them to separate still. I just tell them, you'll sit down, read istikhara and ask Allah to guide you, kalas. I don't tell them all of those things. In fact, I'm very, very strong with premarital counseling. Very, very strong about it. I met a couple once at the airport. They came to see me. I said to them, if you had come to me for premarital counseling, I promise you I would have told you not to marry each other. I would have told you that. You understand? Okay. All right. Any other questions? Ask me, please. You know what? I shared, and Allah is a witness, there was a lot of barakah in the time today. I felt good about it. And I'm happy. I'm very happy. May Allah be pleased with what I have done. I shared with you practical things, yes or no? Do you hear this kind of talks? You don't hear. These are practical talks, all based in Islam. Nothing un-Islamic what I've said. Nothing un-Islamic. It's practical things. It's no good you feeling love for your spouse, but you never told her. Someone you say, how much I love my wife. Did you tell her? I remember one Umrah trip, I met someone I knew from university. His first wife passed away and he came to me very emotionally. He said, Idrees, I know the work you do. My biggest regret is I never ever told my wife how much I love her, how grateful I am. I never showed her gratitude, Any other questions? So do you like me to come back to Ahmedabad? You don't have amnesia when I go from here. Yeah? I really feel at home here. My host and them, may Allah bless them, protect them, give them barakah. Yes. What I deal with. Okay. You know what? Lots of people, with Allah's blessing, I help people from Hong Kong, Malaysia, Australia, UK. They phone me up, and people come to me, right? And I don't charge for counseling at all, right? The cases are many. When people come to me, they tell me, Brother Idrees, I got a problem, and I'm embarrassed to tell you, you get a shock. I say, today nothing shocks me. Nothing shocks me. But I'm not going to discuss some of the very sensitive topics. The big issues I deal with today are infidelity, pornographic addiction. I deal with, for example, psychological abuse, emotional abuse, right? Interference from in-laws, interference from daughters-in-law. You understand? These are some of the broad topics. Also, for example, he's not playing his part at home, spends more time with his friends than at home. I'm like the mother at home. He doesn't help with household chores. You know, those areas. And there are many cases I'm dealing with today that are far more serious than this. These are, don't get me wrong, but it can be dealt with. You know what I'm saying to you? So there are many cases. And I'll just give you broadly how I deal with situation. When a couple comes to me, I like to see I want to know who's the partner that is hurt the most, who's in pain. So I become indulgent with the person on that day. I make them feel good, so they have confidence in me. I want to win the heart over, because it's likely that particular person has given up on the marriage idea. Right? Then what I'll do, you see, there are 5 essential steps in counseling, right? But I do all 5 in one sitting because I don't have the time like others. Where, psychologists say revealing is healing. If the sister is hurt, I tell a sister, tell me exactly what happens. And I'll tell the man, I do not want you to interrupt. If I say, no, brother, I wanted to speak. You'll have your chance. She speaks, he speaks, right? Now, Allah, I use different methods. I always ask Allah for guidance, right? If a sister comes with a list of complaints about her husband, I might just change it. I say, sister, tell me 3 good things about your husband. She gets mad because she came to complain. And you will not believe it. I say, no, sister, before you share what's in the book, share 3 good things about your husband. And suddenly our heart melts. You know what I'm saying to you? Because you know what happens? You can get so clouded, right? So I do different things. So when they finish, each other finish, then I would ask the woman and the man to hold each other's hands. And I said, so tell your husband 3 things that will make you happy at home. If she says, I would like you to spend more time at home, I'll ask her, explain what do you mean by more time. And I'll ask the husband, do you think it's a fair thing? He says, yes, I can do it. You do. Then even though the husband is a culprit here, I'll also ask the husband, what will also make you happy at home? I say after that, you only come back to me after you do those things. If you don't do those things, don't come back to me. I'm sorry, I'm a very busy person. Sometimes what I do, depending on the situation where I need a commitment, then I get a written commitment from either both or one of them. A written commitment. That reassures the wife or the husband. Okay? So all these things. Then what is important is this, that when I teach people counseling, I teach them some basic psychological terms. Like what is bipolar, what's attention deficit disorder, what's cognitive behavior therapy, those things. So when people say that my wife she's bipolar, you know what I mean? You mustn't think she goes North Pole and South Pole, you know what I mean? If you first answer, in your first answer you said, did she ask about his past? In case she asked and he accepted, then what? You know what, as I said, then perhaps he did not, right? I'll give you an example. Perhaps he did it for fear. If we told her, then she may not have, right? Then I would ask another question. I would have asked, if I'm the man and I had a past, I would have asked her, would it matter if I had someone? If she says, then I don't want to marry you, then you must say, I had a pass. You understand that? That's another matter. It has happened now. You cannot undo all those years. He made a mistake. He has turned to Allah. And remember this, I always say the following to people. On the night of Laylatul Qadr, right, we lift up our hands crying to Allah to forgive you. Yet we don't want to forgive. We know we are at fault also. Allah will look at you, He says, look at her. She's so forgiving, why should I not forgive her? You understand what I'm saying to you? So I think this issue, what needs to be done is to be discussed, and is critical aspect. That person, she needs support, there's no doubt about it. The husband must be patient, but this must not become a vicious circle. I say we often rehearse our problems rather than reversing it. Same topic, day in and day out, doesn't help. All right? Okay, anything else? Anyway, okay, I'll just take a few more. I've got another commitment now, right? Okay, how do one contact you for pre-match counseling from Ahmedabad? What is the procedure? Right, I would recommend, I recommend that you purchase my book, you purchase my CDs, and you can even contact me. Go to my blog, you contact me, I'll send you 100 questions also, inshallah. Yes? I do. Yes, yes, I do. Yeah, no, inshallah, if you all invite me, academy, my product, inshallah. And remember this, yeah, my attitude is, I never follow up. If people want me to come, they must contact me. I don't want to impose myself, really. I know Uwais Bhai and I had a chat. He's very keen for me to come back and help group of people counseling so they can continue the work, and also to teach people the art of public speaking, which is a very great passion of mine, right? And that passion, once you develop that, you will become, inshallah, a dynamic leader. All right?
We are trying to get it, if it is offline also,
Yeah.
and if there is a possibility to have it online.
We are both.
So inshallah, we try to have these two things.
Inshallah.
To learn counseling and public speaking, because public speaking is not only about speaking in public. You better explain what is actual public.
Now, the benefits, I'll give you 10-minute benefits of public speaking. 10 minutes. It improves your self-esteem. It forces you to become an avid reader. You become self-aware. You become a dynamic storyteller. You become charismatic. You become decisive. You become an inspiration. You connect emotionally, because public speaking is about connecting emotionally to people. You understand? All in all, what it really does to you, it makes you a person of great interest, a person that has leadership, and most importantly, you're able to connect to the hearts of people. It's a very powerful thing. If we can develop public speaking skills, in fact, one of the highlights of that's public, I've written some books also. One of the highlights that I do in the program is share with people an analysis of the last sermon of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You'll cry when you read his last speech. You'll cry. We don't see the connection. Greeks speak about 3 aspects in public speaking: ethos, logos, and pathos. Ethos is, for example, people ask the question, who is he to speak to me? And people say, Edrees Khamissa conducted workshops in 25 countries, has written 3 books, right? They say, oh, he's got credibility. He counsels people, he's got credibility. Then you want to listen. That's ethos. Logos, what facts is he presenting? Did I present new things to you today, yes or no? I did. You never heard it before, right? Right? They say, okay, that. But the most important thing about public speaking is connecting with the hearts. Did I connect with your hearts today? I did. How? Through storytelling. Storytelling. You get people, alhamdulillah, as you know, they are blessed. When they narrate an incident in the life of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they narrate it as if they are seeing it. Allah has blessed them. It's as if they look this side and it is almost Allah has painted the picture for them. Eh? For example, and I'll teach you about storytelling. Right? Right? I would not say, for example, one day. I say one cold day at 9 o'clock. This handsome man with a black beret, who is 65 years old and behaves like he's 25. Who am I talking about? Man, right. Okay. You understand? When you teach people the art of storytelling, it's an art. And we are living at a time when our young sons and daughters sadly do not know how to articulate the faith, how to debate. Okay. So, the program. Now, inshallah, I know Uwais's heart is pure. He wants me to come. If Allah wills it, I'll come. Right? You make dua, and I'll be happy to do it. To come here, inshallah. Okay? Okay. Jazakum. Allah bless you. And Allah protect you, inshallah.
We had put this on Facebook also. I would like all of you to comment and in detail, if possible. And even in WhatsApp also, you can please comment, make a comment. You know, specific comments, what you learned, what new specially you learned. Assalamu alaikum.